Hello, healthy friends. This is Terry, and I am here in Hanai in the Earth Room with Kim Smythe, the founder of the Hanai Foundation. And I am just so curious what your reason is for building this big.
Welcome. First, not too many people get through their life without some kind of traumatic thing happen to them. And I had something happen to me when I was 16. It was a situation where I didn't feel like I'd had much help to navigate. So I kind of did it my own self. And what I realized as I got older is that all the decisions I made kind of led to me feeling really bad about myself. I was a birth mother. And so I think when you go through life and you put things in your back pocket and kind of just trudge on, it's like that's kind of what I knew how to do. You can hit a point usually where you just kind of say, okay, I have to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote a book about my experience as a birth mother, and I was sitting next to my editor, and she was asking me about, the process. I was asking her about the process of selling books and all that stuff. And in the middle of this conversation, I just said, you know what I really want to do? I want to build a space, a place where people can get together and realize they're more alike than different. And this is totally out of context, totally not in any kind of realm of selling a book, right? And so from that moment on, we both looked at each other, and I just met this woman, and we both knew something had changed, and something kind of was poking at me. And so I had no idea, this is like 10 years ago, what that meant or how that was going to manifest, but we sold our company, and the day that after we sold it, we came looking for a piece of land, and we bought this land right down the road from where we started in Bend, and it felt like a good place, and so yeah, that's kind of why I decided to do this.
That is beautiful. I have so many questions as you're talking. What is the name of your book?
It's called Letting Go Again.
Letting Go Again. Ooh, and can we find that on Amazon or bookstores?
Yes, and I'm going to sell the books here too.
Wonderful.
So they'll be.
And that's about your whole experience, the whole traumatic event that happened.
And I tried to have a relationship with my daughter, and we tried for I think like a while, 10, 15 years, and we just never were able to do that. So I just kind of hadn't heard too many birth mothers at that time. I wrote it a few years ago, and like 5 or 6 years ago, and at that time, not very few people were talking about that. So I just felt like I needed to say, this is what happened.
The experience. So many people can resonate with that because I think so many people give children up for adoption.
But it's also a segment of the population that people don't really want to know. You know?
Just like miscarriage or child. I have a friend who lost her baby in birth, and I mean, she's just so shunned. Yeah. And even to just try to share the experience openly on social media, it's like, oh God, no, nobody wants to look at that.
And women that can't get pregnant, that's another part of the society that, it's.
And we don't talk about miscarriage, so that when women have a miscarriage, they're hugely shamed. They shame themselves, and I do fertility acupressure. I'm like, oh no, this happens to everyone. Like, it's really common. Yeah. People just don't talk about it.
Exactly. And so that's a perfect example of an opportunity for people to get together and realize they're not alone. Because I thought I was alone for most of my life. I mean, that was some, that.
Like you were the only one who ever did this with
Well, I knew it wasn't, but I didn't have any. I didn't feel like I was. I didn't feel like it was I never found a place where I felt comfortable sharing what I felt like. Because in my mind, I did it to myself. I was in a relationship and all that good stuff, and you know.
And so you created a space that people feel comfortable
Exactly.
sharing.
It's like, wouldn't it be great if, for people that went through something like I went through, that they could come to and feel welcomed and feel like, you know, people will honor their experience and be respectful of who they are, and work on releasing that, because when you carry these traumas in your life, they disallow you from being who you truly are supposed to be. You know, it's a weight on you, and I think a lot of times I felt I deserved it. You know, I deserved all the things I thought about myself. And the process of writing about it was really fascinating, because I mean, my editor at one point was like, Kim, you gotta write something that people kind of like you a little bit, you know? I mean, so, because I was so hard on myself, right? And so, you know, going through that writing process was so good for me. And so, yeah, so I encourage people who were like me, that felt like, you know, there's no place for me to go and share my experience and feel safe there, you know?
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And what types of events do you think you'll have, or workshops, or what kind of happenings will you promote here?
Well, ultimately, I mean, those are the kinds of things I'd like to have happen here. You know, there's all kinds of different healing modalities that are coming out now, and like sound baths and all different kinds of things, and ways of different, whatever resonates with different kinds of people, right? So I see that kind of work happening here. I also see, you know, one of our pillars is community celebrations, and so that would be something that would be wonderful to have here. And you know, just working on your own consciousness, working on your ability to find the thread that we all have that connects us. You know, we're not as different as we have been told we are. I think we kind of have, you know, these boxes around ourselves, and we kind of walk around the world. It's like, well, this is who I am. And it's like, you're so much more than that. I believe that. And so, you know, to have a space where you walk in and somebody greets you and says hello and means it is a big deal. It's a big deal for some people.
Connected.
Yeah.
Connection.
And you kind of like make a mental note. It's like, okay, I'm going to Hanai, and I'm just going to kind of leave my biases at the door and see what I can create in my own life that's different from what you know, 2 months ago, or 2 days ago, or 2 hours ago. You know, just the creative juices of building a space that does kind of lend for people to just smile. You know, that you kind of created a place where the rooms are changeable, and you could do this there, you could do different things, and it was all about like giving an opportunity for people to sit down or stand or swing or whatever they want to do, and really come down to a place where, once again, we understand we're more alike than different. You know, we're all just kind of, yeah, and to take the opportunity to bring your kids here and do art classes or whatever it is. You know, if I can get the community. We kind of gave this little print of the space with some gardening and stuff, but we have 9 acres here, so if the community gets together and says, hey, let's do a demonstration garden, or well, let's do this, or let's do a labyrinth, or let's put some pathways in here, or do a garden of trees that for memories of people, or whatever it is. You know, I really want to see the community saying, oh, this is fun. You know, let's go and create.
And I just love the look of the space and how all the rooms connect. It's almost like a beehive design. And was there something special were you thinking of a beehive design in this building?
Well, I went to our designer, Piper Lucas, and I said, this is what I want 3 different rooms, and I want you to use sacred geometry. Because I've always loved geometry, and the more I played and found out about all the things that sacred geometry it's the math of nature. And so what a great place to have a space that goes into nature and also honors nature. So she came up with this great design, and we have the curve on the fascia that goes around it, and from what she shared with me is that's the dance of the bees. When they go back to the hive and they like tell everyone it's their happy dance. I know where we can go and have lots of fun out here. So I love this. I love that about sharing the different ideas and stuff. But yeah, I wanted it to be like I said, an homage, and I also wanted it to be a statement of creativity. And she and all the people that shared with their ideas, we went out and did a listening project. My daughter spearheaded it, and we came up with a lot of the input from the community, which is wonderful.
Wonderful.
A lot of people, 115 I think it was, we went and talked to.
And the artwork and the metal that you have from Andy Watts and Weld. I mean, there's just so many perfect,
Artists,
beautiful local artists being featured here that I really appreciate just walking through. It has such good feng shui.
Yeah.
I'm very space sensitive, so for me, to really feel at home in a space says that you did it right. Everything is aligned here.
We spent a lot of time with groups of people on the land, really giving homage to the land and really putting intention in what we were doing here. So I appreciate you saying
You can
that.
feel it. It really is aligned, and you can feel
And all the people that volunteered, they've been wonderful through the years. And even, the guys that built this were just, I think they all had fun doing it because it's something different, you've been doing the same old thing, making square boxes pretty much, and all of a sudden we're saying, no, you're not going to have a square box in here. So,
I love that.
gave them an option to
and just the
do
way the
something
light
different.
fills the room, and this beautiful light from above and coming down, it's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I know one thing that you were telling me is how inclusive you want the space to be. And even today, as we came for the soft opening, we saw everyone from a baby all the way to age 90 in the room together, and so many different diverse people of different diverse genders and races, and I love that. And can you talk more about that intention for inclusivity?
Sure. It's kind of funny because I grew up in Hawaii where you're constantly, having fun with people from all over the world with different backgrounds, and I found it fascinating and fun. So I don't even really think about it, right? So it's like, of course you're invited.
The aloha way.
And that's where Hanai, thank you for bringing that up, because Hanai is a Hawaiian word, which my husband's part Hawaiian, and I really wanted to make sure it was okay to use the word Hanai. And I asked my father-in-law about its origins and the meaning, and I just really wanted to make sure that I asked my kupuna that,
You were honoring the tradition.
And so,
you don't want Pele coming down on you.
no. And it's also going back to my story of Hanai. Hanai was a way that grandparents in ancient in Hawaii would raise their grandchildren a lot of times to raise them with the language and the ways of the elders, because there was no written language there. So, but it was a very known thing, and there was no guilt and shame and all the good things I found in the idea of adoption in modern day. So I loved the inclusiveness in Hawaii now. A lot of people will include people like a good girlfriend. You're my Hanai sister, And so
what is the meaning of Hanai?
It means to nurture, to feed, to bring
nurture,
up.
to feed, to raise, like raising.
Well, to feed, to bring up,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's lovely.
So so Hanai, we really want to nurture the self and community. So it really lends that big circle.
Raise up the community.
Well, just let everybody know. Like in our listening project, we were running into people that new to Ben, working at home, didn't really have a connection with anybody, that kind of thing. And so it's time for us to kind of rethink of and reimagine what it is to be in community, I think, you know, like just saying hello, you know? So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, we look forward to seeing more events and more community gatherings here at Hanai. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about this.
Of course, you're more than welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.